Hi, I'm here with Joe Duggan from Crystal Palace Transition Town. We're outside Christchurch and Gypsy Hill, and there is a Homes for Lambeth master planning workshop going on today. Joe, can you just tell us a little bit about why you came today, what this is all about?
Yeah, from my point of view, and I'm here in a personal capacity, but obviously being involved with the transition town has kept me informed with local things. Um, from my point of view, I've been really concerned about the whole process since 2015. Don't feel like there's ever really been a good engagement process that has really listened to the residents' concerns and taken them on board. And I also really don't get that the choice from the sort of baked in choice from the very beginning seems to be demolition of the whole area rather than really thinking about how these perfectly good houses can be refurbished, made habit. You know, a lot of them are like really nice places to live. It's a really lovely estate, and there's a really fantastic sense of community and a good vibe. And obviously they've had their challenges, and you know, so I suppose from the transition time point of view, we really want to just listen and support and understand and like challenge the council, I guess, just to try and like genuinely listen to residents and what they think. And also at the time of COP26, is this really the right solution to knock down to consider demolishing a huge estate like this, with the embedded carbon and the years of disruption that it would cause? There's a lot of big questions in there that I don't feel are being unpacked properly.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point about the embodied carbon and the cost of that in sort of the middle of a climate crisis. But also, it occurs to me that this is an issue for Lambeth residents, and this is a Lambeth Council issue, but Crystal Palace covers 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
So if you look at Truslow House being demolished, a 7-storey building going up there, people being moved off the estate into that building so that the rest of the estate can start to be demolished. What do you think the effect would be of this kind of 20-year project to demolish the whole estate, if you look at how that could impact on the whole of Crystal Palace?
Well, obviously, it's going to have a really significant impact, and I don't feel like the ramifications of that have really been, talked through. Yes, it's always complex with cross-border issues, but I don't like, Croydon like completely touches that area. So there's a whole load of different implications and ramifications that I don't think have been thought through properly. And I'm not even sure if local residents are fully aware of what the impacts would be themselves. I don't feel like the penny's completely dropped locally.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are still surprised when they hear about it, and a lot of people don't seem to believe that the whole estate could, in theory, be demolished. Also,
Sorry, look, I might
yeah, go on.
interrupt you a little
No,
bit.
that's fine.
Because I just think one thing that can get lost here is people. This is a community, and the Central Hill residents have already went through an awful lot here.
Right.
I feel like they've been disrupted, they've been confused, they've been told lots of different narratives. And that has an impact on people, on their mental health, on their social well-being, and on all sorts of things. And I think that's a bit underestimated sometimes. What it's like to live with that hanging over your head for years. And obviously, some residents have chosen to move away because of all that, how difficult that is. And like, where would they move to in London? So there's a lot of disruption around community here, because obviously it's not that easy for someone who's living in Central Estate just to move to a slightly different part of Crystal Palace because of property prices and things like that. So it's really quite difficult as well.
Yeah, I would say the council is prioritising really moving people off the estate more than they are kind of working with residents. You've also got the issue of the tree line, between Croydon and Lambeth. The tree line is under threat. We've already lost a lot of mature trees where Truslow House was. The whole of Central Hill Estate is a green estate. I can't see how Lambeth are going to maintain any trees or any mature trees on the estate if they're going to, and also, I don't know what you think about this, but rebuilding much taller at much higher density on a sort of slope on London clay, that could get, in engineering terms alone, that could get really expensive and really difficult. And I don't think that has even really been discussed fully with residents.
Yeah, it's a really intensive piece of work at all sorts of levels, and I don't feel like it doesn't completely add up for me as well. And yeah, absolutely, all the different environmental impacts. But one of the ones that I think is going to, like, at least it's been taken more seriously even at COP26 is the embedded impacts of like build and things like that. And and also, like, I mean, I think the first step probably from an environmental and from a social point of view is don't do it if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, why even go down that road? And I don't think the arguments that were presented previously really add up. There was talk about homelessness. There was talk about, some of these issues, and I don't feel like that really adds up in the way that it's been presented.
Not if you look at the very, very small number of extra homes that are going to, sort of social homes that are going to come out of it compared to the 60% or more private sale, and the increase in density. But what would you think be the message to people in Crystal Palace, even if they're not a Lambeth resident, about getting involved in this debate about Central Hill Estate? What do you think could be?
I think it's start to find out really what's going on. Talk to the local residents who've been campaigning on this issue for years, and really get a bit more informed. I think that's step one. Obviously, you can make your own mind up after that if you still feel it's a good idea. I don't want to tell the people how to think, but I do think that local residents still are a little bit unaware of really what's going on here. And I think process has been questionable at times as well, and I think if they were more aware, if they listened to local residents and hear what the process has been like, I think it would be a bit of an eye-opener for them.
Okay, so the message today is find out more and have your say. Thanks,
Yeah,
Joe.
and also maybe just lastly, that Central Hill is a very valuable part of our community. So it's treat it like that and, reach out, connect. And there has been examples of that, but let's keep that up and let's build a little bit of solidarity around this issue and let's work together on it.
Well, you've been working on local issues for years, so I think that would come very powerfully from you. That's Joe Duggan, Crystal Palace Transition Town. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.